Hello, hello, hello. Are we ready to get spooked? I'm ready to get spooked. Let's get this. Hello, hello, hello. Are we ready to get spooked? That was weird. My thing should have been shut off. Let's see. Ooh, where am I going to go? Ooh, there it is. Ah, minor technical difficulty. Helen's ready. I'm ready. And it's loud. Shit, it's loud. Okay, here we go. Okay then. Why did I read that as Ermagerd Mansion? The Ermagerd Mansion. Ermagerd. Ermengarde. Ermagerd. It was built for Lord William and Lady Elizabeth Ermagerd. I don't know if it's a good start. Of Luxembourg, humble ambassadors of peace and beloved by their people. Both were well known for their compassion and generosity, never failing to extend helping hand. That's still really loud. Ugh, spooky. Under influence and wealth, what was once a small and sleepy village grew to a prosperous and bustling town. However, the seasons of joy eventually ended when the good nobles perished at the hands of a great plague. Their riches and legacy were henceforth passed to their only child, Lady Charlotte Ermagerd. The mansion has stood since the 1620s, a witness to a very long history of joy and pain. After Lady Charlotte committed suicide, the great house was eventually left uninhabited. Okay. And that is when it began. Surrounding villagers spoke of seeing and hearing unearthly things, of cries and howls that filled the night, and hearsay of mystery women roaming the hollow halls aimlessly. People who dared enter its walls were simply never heard from again. Even after 400 years, these stories remain much like the house itself. Whispers about the once great house, its legends and its curse, still fall upon the villagers' ears. In spite of this, the current owners are convinced that these stories are nothing more than hoax. With little regard for the truth, they have Briar Realty Corporation placed the property back on sale. Like Pandora's box, the secret that lies inside await to be discovered by brave souls. No matter what happens, take care not to be consumed by the curse. Good luck. Ugh. No. Nah. I don't.
Hello?
Oh, fuck.
Isabella, are you there? Where are you?
Yes, I do, Doc. I do. I forgot. I forget. Is it very loud? Is it very loud? A familiar jittery voice comes from the other end. This is really loud. It's really loud even for me. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Where are you? There you go. Oh, that's better. That's better.
Oh, hey Rose. I'm at St. Goretti High. What's the matter?
What do you mean, what's the matter?
Meta.
It's the mansion, silly. I'm here and you're late. Jeez, we're on shift together. You promised.
Pish posh, pish posh.
Oh my god, please don't tell me you forgot. You were planning on leaving me to check this place out on my own, weren't you?
Sorry, Rose.
You chickened out.
Calm down. You know I take my promises seriously.
I'd like to believe that. So hurry up and get here. This place is huge. A bit too quiet since no one's lived here since, like, forever, but beautiful nonetheless.
Why are you so surprised? This isn't the first time you've been there.
I know. I just wish I could live in a place like this.
A haunted mansion? Yeah, sure.
It really takes my breath away.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Not after the rumors that say it's haunted.
Jeez, never mind those rumors. Ghosts aren't real after all.
Oh my god, it's Helen! Helen, it's you!
And even if they are, which they are not, they can't do anything. They're nothing but spirits.
You don't know that. They might be listening or watching right now, and they might not be happy with you enough to curse you.
No offense, sweetie, but that's a bit of a stretch.
Believe it or not, it's better to be careful.
Right. You know, not every property we sell will end up with a dead body stuffed in a sofa.
And I think that mansion is where we'll likely find another one. I can feel it.
The one that doesn't believe in ghosts.
That was one time, Isabella. Loosen up.
Aw, poor Helen's getting her ass kicked.
Wait, just get here ASAP, please. I'm getting bored being here on my own.
Fine, fine. Let me just finish up here. I'll be right there soon.
Okay, see you. Bye.
And she was never heard from again. She hangs up before I can respond. Rose, still charming as ever.
Who was that?
I look up from my phone to see Rebecca. Becca, giving me a questioning look.
Oh, that? It's just Rose.
Rose? The one you said who trained you for your job back when you started? You're working together again?
Why is everyone British?
Just for this property. We've been scoping out that big mansion down Anselm Village after the renovations. Today's sort of its grand opening to the public. The RC wants to give it one last check before we let potential buyers tour it this afternoon.
Oh, wait, mansion? That big spooky one you've been telling everyone about?
Ooh, spoopy.
Didn't you keep saying how it just gave you the creeps? You actually went there? And you're going back?
Well, I did promise Rose I wouldn't ditch her.
Wait, are these like high school kids?
And besides, a job is a job. Gotta do what you gotta do to make a living.
As soon as those words leave my mouth, Becca lets out a soft chuckle.
What's so funny?
Nothing. It's just that I didn't expect you to say that. Coming from you, it sounds so out of character. I mean, no offense, but you've been freaking out about the place being creepy ever since you got assigned to it. Cursed rumors and all. I honestly thought you'd back out.
Not all the time. I could really use a huge amount of cash right now, and this is just the fastest way to get it. Plus, listen to this. Briar Realty wants it sold as soon as possible, and the agent who lands the deal is going to get a huge bonus.
Yay, bonus!
They never give bonuses like that. Getting that would make life so much easier.
You'll be dead before you get it.
They're desperate, I'm desperate, it's perfect.
A sympathetic look crosses her face.
You know, if you're really in urgent need of money, you could have just asked me. Or Ashton. We can always let you borrow, and you can pay us back whenever.
I have to keep myself from groaning out loud. In the years I've known her, I can already tell what to expect when she has that expression.
Becca!
I've noticed that you've been living off instant noodles these past few weeks.
There's nothing wrong with instant noodles. They're good. She crosses her arms and grimaces at the thought. Her voice slightly rises as she begins to scold me. Instantly, I'm reminded why Becca excels at teaching boisterous teenagers.
Stop eating junk.
Wait, they're
They're
teachers?
cheap, but they're not good for you. You'll definitely end up in the hospital if you keep at it.
You're not my mom! Ah.
Hey! I eat other things too.
Yay, achievement! I fold my arms across my chest, mimicking her posture, giving her the best frown I can muster. The same one I used with my younger siblings when they were being difficult. Instead, she only raises an eyebrow at me.
That's not going to work on me. And I saw it when you were cleaning your flat last week. The instant noodle cups outnumber everything else.
You're just exaggerating. Did you even see what's in my cupboard yet? I'm not just living on instant noodles alone. I've got canned beans, peas, tuna, ham, and even hamburgers in there.
Becca's wrinkling her nose by the time I get to the end of the small list. She even went to a little green on the last one. I would have laughed a little at that if I didn't know it would only lead to more reprimand. I don't know what that words mean from her.
Aren't those the same ones you won from the grocer's raffle more than a year ago?
Oops.
Oh, I sincerely hope you're checking the date stamps on those things before eating them. I don't want a repeat of last year. In any case, those are still not exactly healthier choices, Belle.
She shakes her head, possibly laughing at some funny distant memory. Then she looks up. I immediately brace myself. More words from her. Sometimes it's just better to let Becca talk until she's out of things to say. But when she turns her attention back to me, there's only warmth in her smile.
What am I going to do with you?
She says this more to herself than to me. Her voice shifted to something kinder, even motherly, if I'm looking for the exact word.
I hope you know that it's impossible not to worry about you when you're like this. You don't have to keep eating the same thing. I already told you before. You're always free to reheat food in my fridge.
Thanks, Becca. I really appreciate it, but you don't need to keep babying me. You've been taking care of me since after I moved here. You have to take a break sometime. And before you ask again, no. You know I'm not a fan of borrowing money. And I'm not going to ask you to give me what you earned hard for yourself.
You and your pride. But suit yourself. The offer stays on the table, though.
I nod in response, if only to get her to drop the topic. But I'm pretty certain I will never take that offer. Ever. It has nothing to do with pride. I've simply seen plenty of times how friendships can take a turn for the worst just because of a few unpaid debts. I don't want something like that to happen between me and Becca. We may argue about a lot of small and petty things, but she's already feel like a real sister to me. I don't want to lose that friendship over something so trivial. Becca's movements, when she takes a quick glance at something behind me, snaps me out of my thoughts.
Well, enough chit-chat. Lunch is ending, and my students will be back any minute. We can catch up later. Good luck with your clients. You better treat us to lunch or something if you get that sale.
You bet!
With a small smile, she returns to her desk and begins shifting through the pages of a rather thick history book. She's probably working on next week's lessons plan. Or trying to, at least. Her eyes are distant and she doesn't seem too attentive to whatever is on the page. As if she heard my thoughts, Becca starts coughing heavily. Her hand hastily goes to her mouth to stifle the sounds. Oh, this is precisely why I followed her here. For someone who makes a habit out of worrying about other people, Becca sure forgets how to take care of herself.
Hey, you sure you can manage on your own? I mean, you're still a bit feverish.
Hush, dear. Don't you worry about me. I'll just drink some medicine and I'll be right as rain.
I level her with a flat look. She's had a cold for a couple of days now. Something about the strange weather not agreeing with her lately. And despite my advice to take the week off and rest, I found her apartment empty when I dropped by this morning. She even left the medicine her doctor prescribed. Luke is being stubborn now.
You shouldn't even be working right now.
Seriously, you big baby. I'll be fine. For now, just go to work and stop making that Rose girl wait for you. I'll call you if I still feel bad, and you can come pick me up if it makes you feel any better.
She offers me a reassuring smile. I can only sigh. Why do I even bother? There is no stopping her once she's decided on something. Who? Becca? Defeated, I reach inside my bag to pull out the same small bottle of medicine she left earlier. She looks at it wearily when I place it in front of her. Unfortunately for her, this is one thing I'm not letting her have her way.
All right, but don't forget what the doctor said. Drink this on time. I'll see you later, okay?
Burbies! There's an amused gleam in her eye when she shifts them back to me.
Look who's playing the mother hen now.
Rebecca!
Okay. I won't tease anymore. I'll make sure to drink it, Mom.
Before I can retort, she casts another look at the clock. I take that as a sign to finally end the conversation on my short visit. With a small wave, I leave her alone to her classroom and her thoughts. I hail a passing taxi to take me to the property as soon as I leave the school grounds. The mansion is some way out in the countryside, but I don't have trouble giving the driver directions. Apparently everyone in Luxborn City knows of it, including every bit of rumor surrounding the place. In fact, just the mention of its name is enough for locals to give you a cautious sidelong glances. I learned that the hard way the first time I commuted there, and it's only boosted my belief that there is something more to the house. Even the news of it being renovated and placed back on the market has caused quite a stir. Thankfully, it died down a few weeks later. The place would have become a lot harder to sell otherwise. I avert my eyes from the window once the buildings shrink in the distance. We get a glimpse of the countryside soon, although a quick glance at my watch tells me we're still a few minutes away from our destination. Might as well get some work done. Rose did ask me to review the mansion's documents. I already looked them over last night, but you never know when things may go wrong. Ugh. Life has ways of messing things up like that. Halfway through reading my papers, my phone rings again. I pick it up without looking, neatly tucked in between my ear and shoulder. It's probably just Rose again anyway.
Rose?
That's not Rose.
Guess again.
That voice.
Ash.
Bingo.
Hey, what's up?
Just checking if you're still cool later this evening.
You mean that thing with Zach?
Yeah.
They're gonna do things.
He even called in the middle of the night just to remind me.
No, don't worry. I didn't forget. I'll be there.
Cool. I'll see you later. What time do you get off?
Around 6 p.m.? I don't know.
We don't know.
It's the first day of the Ermengarde Mansion's open
Ermengarde!
house, and we're expecting quite a number of potential buyers. I'll be booked the whole afternoon.
Ermengarde Mansion?
Ermengarde. That's the new name of it.
You know, the big Jacobean mansion at Anselm Village? I'm on my way there right now, actually.
On your own?
Yeah, well, Rose is already there, but yeah.
She's probably dead.
I see. Looks like the scaredy cat finally toughened up.
Shut up!
Ash chuckles and I can't help but roll my eyes upon hearing it.
I'll see you later. Drop me a call when you're done. I'll see if I can pick you up.
Whatever. Bye.
Whatever. Stupid asshole. Oh my god. Always tease me whenever he sees a chance. I'll show him who's tough. Journal. Is this my journal? Okay. What's this? Okay, I can't look at anyone else. This game is still so loud. It takes a few more minutes until I finally reach the infamous mansion. I have to admit, the entire property does look wonderful from the outside. Yet, despite all of it, it does nothing to hide that something is just wrong. The surrounding area is usually silent, and only the rustling of leaves can be heard as the occasional breeze passes. But Elmslim Village is just a few miles away. Everybody keeps their distance on purpose. Perhaps out of fear, the horror of falling under the mansion's curse. Somehow, it makes me sad. The lack of immediate human presence just makes this place all the more eerie than it has to be any right to be. Talk. If it is uncanny in broad daylight, I can't imagine how this place looks at night.
You planning to go inside that place, Missy?
The voice nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Without complete taking my eyes away from the house, I give the driver a confused nod. A beat passes while I wait for him to say more, but his only answer is a non-commute hum. be lately, it occurs to me that he must have been waiting for my payment. I mentally slap myself for spacing out and promptly hand him the fare with an look. I expected him to leave as soon as I paid, but there's a hesitation expression on him, as if something hasn't been said yet.
Is there something wrong?
Look, Missy, I'm sure you've heard what the people are telling everyone about that place. Nobody likes to be disturbed when they're at peace, and I'm pretty sure whatever they say is in their house doesn't want to either. I admit they did a good job fixing it up, but there must have been a reason why even distant relatives of the family who used to own the house never lived in there despite inheriting it. No wonder they wanted to get rid of it.
Maybe they just didn't like it?
You never know.
He drives off after, but what he said has left a foreboding feeling in my gut. I breathed out a heavy sigh as I approached the house. After hearing enough of the rumors, I should have expected the conversation to take that turn. But I'm already here. Backing out is completely out of the question. It's not like I have a choice anyway. If I want to get the bonus and commission, one way or the other, I've got to sell this property. The door is ajar when I get to it, however, while my own copy of the keys dangling uselessly in my hand. Rose must have left it open when she arrived. That's weird. We may be the only people here this early, but I've never known her for someone careless.
Told you she's gonna be dead.
Entering what greets me inside leaves me gaping. They cleaned every corner, waxed the floor, dusted the antiques, searched every nook, crane, and crevice, and made it spick and span. For all the sake of making the mansion more authentic to the modern-day lord and ladies. But no matter how hard they try, the mansion still looks as soulless as ever. As though it's going to eat you alive. If you ask me, they should have just listened to what other people have been telling them and leave this place alone. Some things in this world are better left alone, never to be disturbed ever again.
Rose?
Oh, echo. I call out.
Rose, I'm here. Where are you?
My voice echoes softly throughout the hallways. Oh, who am I kidding? In a place this big, I don't think she'll hear me, no matter how deafening the silence is. She could be all the way on the other side of the property for all I know. Quickly, I reach for my phone and dial her number. But
The number you have dialed has not been recognized. Please check and try again.
what? What do you mean has not been recognized? We were just talking a while ago. It's not like she's been eaten by the house, right? Or maybe the ghost did hear us talk and spirited her away, right? Right? No, Isabella, don't be ridiculous. She probably just wandered deeper into the house and lost signal or something. I dial her number again, hoping the call will connect this time.
The number you have dialed has not been recognized. Please check and try again.
But to no avail. Oh boy. I have a very bad feeling about this.
Rose? If you can hear me, please come out. Come on, Rose. This isn't funny. You know this place gives me the creeps.
No answer. This isn't going to work. The place is big. She could be anywhere. I need to start looking for her. I take a deep breath before venturing deep into the mansion. Yeah. I take a couple of steps forward and notice something moving over the grand staircase.
What the hell? Rose? Rose, is that you? Not funny. I'm leaving you if you don't come out. Not coming out, huh? Fine, I'm going.
Okay, that's a lie. She's my friend. I can't really leave until I know she's alright. Going desperate, I tried to contact her number again. Come on, please give me something. Please, Lord. Yes, finally.
Hello? Hello? Rose, I'm here at the mansion. Where the hell are you?
She doesn't respond. There's also heavy static coming from her side. I sincerely hope it doesn't get cut off again before I can get an answer from her.
Rose, come on. Where are you?
A few moments pass until the static eventually starts to quiet down.
I'm at stick.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
What? The attic? Why?
But she's dead.
Crap. It got cut off. Man, do I really need to go there? With how deep inside the mansion the attic is, there is barely any signal there. No wonder I couldn't contact her. Why is she there? Out of all the places, she just had to make me go fetch her in the creepiest room of this place. Is she doing this to get back at me for being late? Whatever, I'll just go. The sooner I meet up with her, the sooner I'll feel better about being here. I carefully make my way up the staircase. My legs wobble as I mentally curse the fact that I've chosen real estate instead of picking a career that doesn't involve strange, abandoned houses. Upon reaching the top, the grand hallway greets me. It branches out to two major wings of the mansion, the east and the west wing. There are two attics here, one on each side, but the east one has been converted to a storage room for sorts. And somehow I find it least likely for Rose to wander there by herself. Besides, she never did like going into stuffy storage rooms. So I head towards the west wing first, where a simple wooden door at the end of the hall opens to a small room. I know! I don't know how they did it. I am so amazed. Inside is another set of steps leading to the second attic. Just wait, I told you she would be dead. She's gonna be dead. Unlike the grand staircase, though. Stairs to the attic are steep and narrow, made of old stones and covered with a thick coating of dust that kicks up into the air with every step. Thank God it's daytime. If it wasn't for light streaming to the door behind me, I might easily stumble and fall.
Why is the sound so fucking loud?
With all the places, there's no light fixtures to illuminating the cramped passage up. Why didn't they bother to add here when they renovated escapes me. Sheesh, they did it with the rest of the house. A small bedroom welcomes me at the end. It looks exactly as it did last time I've been here, full of dust, worn out, and faded by time. Odd. I thought they cleaned everything. Did the crew miss this room? Ugh. Cleanliness is the least of my concern right now. The more pressing matter is Rose. She's not here. Was I dreaming when I talked to her a while ago? Did I mishear her? No. It couldn't have been a dream. After all, the creepy ambience of this estate is doing such a remarkable job of making sure I stay alert and awake. And I'm sure she said she's here. Is this a prank? Or maybe the phone call was Rose's last message to me before the curse got to her. Oh, shut up, Rain. You're not helping. Don't make this scarier than it already is. But if she's not here, then where is she? What the hell was that? That's it. I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving. You must have angered the spirits living here. I knew disturbing this mansion was a bad idea. Right from the very start. But nobody listened. Be fucking realistic, they said. They think I'm cuckoo because I believe in curses and ghosts and all that. Me and my outlandish backwater country beliefs. I've always strived to be a model employee, but not this time, no. I'm turning back for the sake of my sanity. Briar Royalty can find another agent who's more fucking realistic to tour people around this haunted house. Before leaving, I take one last look at the gloomy old room. Just to check.
Huh? What's this?
My worries about Rose's whereabouts must have caused me to miss this when I first entered the room. But there's clearly something on the floor. It looks like...
A letter?
Lying on the ground just a couple of inches away from my feet. Out of sheer curiosity, I lean down and pick it up. Strange. I don't recall seeing this the last time I was here. A few days back, me and a few other agents inspected the mansion to prepare for today. I had been the last to look inside the attic and leave, and this certainly hadn't been here before. Someone must have left it in the room since then. Did Rose leave this for me? Was she here a while ago? I couldn't have missed her though, could I? There's only one set of stairs leading to the attic. The letter isn't exactly in pristine condition. In fact, it looks rather ancient. The paper is so thin and rough, I'm worried it will fall apart if I so much as touch it. But with great care I open it, and what I read shakes me to the core.
What? What? Oh my god.
Okay. Nothing but the words, "Help me," fills the page. All of it. Seemingly written with a crimson shaded pen. Or blood. I gulp. The same phrase just goes on until...
Send this to 5 people or else.
Why does that look like it's different color than the rest?
Or else what? Or else what?
As quickly as I can, I scan the back of the paper, peek into the envelope to make sure I'm not missing out on a second page. But there's nothing.
No. Oh, please, no.
My hands tremble as dread creeps over me. The room is suddenly getting colder. I need to get out of here. Folding the paper in half, the sight that greets me next has frozen me on the spot. Oh. A pair of blood-soaked feet. Oh god, this is still too fucking loud. I need to do something about that. Hold on. It's way too fucking loud. A pair of blood-soaked feet enters my field of vision, covering gaping wounds, with skin eaten away to real flesh, bones, and all manner of things that is meant to be seen. It's too much. All of it is too much. I want to cry, call for help, but the words caught in my throat. Even my feet won't move, completely paralyzed out of terror. Oh, what should we do? Should we look? Should we look? I want to look. Let's be brave. I need to face it. Whoever, whatever these feet belong to, I need to face it. And if I'm going to die, if they're going to kill me, at least I'll know what my killer looks like. A cold comfort. So with a deep breath, I summon every ounce of courage I have left in me and shift my gaze upwards. The fuck?
Please, don't hurt me.
The hell? Without thinking, I scramble towards the door. I struggle to open it, but it won't budge.
Just stay away! Go away! Please, Lord! Make it go away!
Why now? Why won't it open now? My heart sinks as reality dawns in. I'm locked in. Locked in with that thing.
Let me out! Let me out! Lord, please, let me out!
It slowly approaches me as I wrench at the doorknob violently back and forth. I didn't know I had to do things! I didn't know I had to do things! Yes. The door finally swings open. I couldn't be happier. Wasting no time, I leap out the door and don't look back. My feet pound against the floor in rhythm with the loud, fast beating of my heart. By the time I ran past the hallway and find myself on top of the grand staircase, my chest feels so tight, like it's going to burst. But that's nothing compared to the feeling of hope the sight of the exit gives me. Racing down the stairs, a breathy laugh escapes me and my shoe slips and I find myself falling. Oh god, we're gonna die. Oh, I did finger smash. That's it. I was like, oh, panic, I didn't know. Until my back hits the ground and pain racks my body. My head grows It's fuzzy and my vision dims as I fight to stay conscious.
No. Go away.
The last thing I see are those feet before all I know is darkness. Woo! Mm-hmm. He's probably the meanie. Oh my god, it's Lucio. Oh, such anime. Yeah, that was the prologue. And we're already dead. A buzz breaks the silence. I start to rouse, pull into consciousness against my own will. I never felt this tired before. I just want to sleep, but the insisting buzzing, poking, prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not have been the comfiest of the places, but doesn't make me any more eager to wake up.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away what is nudging persistently at my side. Can't I just get a few more minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. A hand lightly taps my cheek, and something cold is suddenly being pressed at the back of my head. An icy sensation spread throughout the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling.
Who
is this?
Isabella? Isabella? Gosh, can you hear me? Isabella?
Is that Rose? The fog immediately lifts from my mind the moment I recognize the voice, and my eyes snap open. There, looking down at me, is Rose. Another woman loiters beside her, but her attention is too focused on my co-agent to even ask why there is someone else with her. Rose's posture just screams worry, although she's keeping a straight face, or trying to at least. Can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily, the feeling subsides after a few seconds until one mild throbbing somewhere at the back of my head remains. With a little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. She hands me an ice pack and gestures for me to press it where I suspect a small bump has already formed, if the light aches in the area indicates anything.
Alright, Isabella, where are we?
Moon?
The Ermengarde mansion.
Ermengarde.
Why? Ow, my head.
And the date today?
14th December?
October 21st? Rose.
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
No.
15, 14, 13, 12 teen. No,
12.
that's wrong. Why are we doing this?
She's just checking if your injury is in any way serious.
And this time, I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her. What's with the way she's towering over us? And here I told Rose is really tall. Who is she anyway? One of the remaining unclean cleaning crew. Unclean? But with how primely dressed she is, I don't think anyone would want to clean in a suit. An expensive suit of that. The gloves alone must have really cost a fortune. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an almost unreadable expression, before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. I can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does so. She may be far from cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like our supervisor during evaluation.
Just do it, please.
I eyed them both fairly, but recite everything as she has asked. Rose releases a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance.
Yeah, I kind of took a tumble, down the stairs, hit my head, saw some dead things on this work.
Are you alright?
I don't even know how to say that word. Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. The memory's a little fuzzy, but the attic?
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crews.
I like the new uniforms.
The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last minute...
No, not any of those. They're, I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Both Rose and the lady look at me like I just grown another head. Did I say something weird? Rose quickly casts an apologetic smile at the woman before the awkward silence stretches on any further. It's her saleswoman smile, the same one she taught me back when I was still her trainee. I should show this to the troublesome clients or just to avoid trouble in general, she advised. It's also the same one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Her eyes are serious when she turns back to me. She takes both of my shoulders, gently squeezes it, and with as much patience as you can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you. You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call. Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really alright?
I'm not!
What happened?
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry. I remember I was looking for you, but you weren't in the attic. And there's... whoever it is. And I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down.
Probably.
Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open. We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose.
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Yeah, pish posh.
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
Wait. Hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important sale because of a minor bump on the head. An extremely minor bump. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house. Alone. And in a mansion this big?
Well, there's also the part of me where I might lose that bonus BRC promise, but that's completely besides the point. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I return the cold compress to her and push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase railing to steady myself, otherwise I feel fine.
See? I'm A-okay.
Two of them exchange a worried glance, and Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation. If she says no...
Alright, you in.
A smile threatens to slip out from me.
If I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
Okay, Rose.
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
You shouldn't downplay these kinds of things. It could be a serious injury for all we know.
Suddenly a small cough sounds against the wall of the foyer, interrupting our banter. The woman is looking exceptionally at the two of us. Her stare makes me shrink back a little on myself. Weird wording. She isn't really intimidating. Well, she is. But not in the scary negative way. Far from it, actually, her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. In a different world, a younger me would have probably wished to be like her. At her lack of response, she coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my throat at the sight of it, and Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my blunders.
My sincerest apologies, Mrs.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
What? Is that Irish? Scottish? That's the only thing I heard. Rose designs. She hands Rose her business card. Seriously. The word interior designer catches my eye before my partner flips it over. Oh, probably someone interested in the mansion for its 27th century influence, then. I won't hold it against her, though. I think it's Scottish. Seriously, that sounds like someone had a hairball in the back of their throat. Despite the hearsay and remain inhabited for years, the mansion's original fitting and furniture have been kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find the trip to the past feeling appealing. After all, with what it offers, this place could have been a haven for people looking to live somewhere with a classic historical charm.
Miss McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough. In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please.
Thanks. There's no need for it, though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place.
Yeah,
I thought I
is.
should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
Rose's confusion is impossible to miss when she glances at me, and I return to it an equal perplexed look. It's very odd, Helen. And again, it's my better judgment. I blurt out the first question that comes to mind.
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. A flash of irritation crosses her face, but it is instantly disappears under a mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright? I was hired by her to handle the interior design for their newly bought home.
It does sound a bit Scottish when you hear when you listen to her talking. Like a slight hint of it, far, far in the back.
This is the Ermengarde mansion, right?
It is, but...
She pauses, possibly trying to find the right words to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. Suddenly, Rose nudges me with her elbow. Did I do something bad? Oh, wait, did it get up? Did it get up? Okay. Those few moments have given me enough time to clear my head of any nervousness and confusion clouding it.
It is, ma'am, but we weren't aware the mansion has already been sold.
What do you mean?
I almost flinch when she turned her gaze onto me, but I stand my grounds. Besides, it isn't like I haven't dealt with awkward situations like this before. I may screw it up at times, but that doesn't mean I haven't learned a thing or two in the 5 years I've worked in the business.
The mansion is indeed for sale, ma'am. Today's the open house, in fact. However, we haven't heard anything from the higher-ups that a deal has already been closed for this particular property. If you'd like, my co-agent and me can check with them right now.
She nods, seemingly in deep thought after I've finished. She appears to be a reasonable person anyway, Given the proper explanation, she surely understand.
I thought something looked odd when I arrived here. Excuse me, I think I need to make a call to my secretary.
Yeah, there's
Thank
definitely
you for
some
your
accent.
assistance, Miss Santos.
There's definitely some accent there. With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us. That seemed to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathed in a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. I also don't miss the thumbs up she gives me for doing a good job, and I can't help but swell with pride. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to her Luxembourg office and check, even if she didn't ask for it. I will be very frustrated if, for some reason, something has already been decided without me and Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss returns, looking a little frustrated, but with an apology clear on her face. I feel a little sorry for her having to go through all this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here. I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
Certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive.
Okay, then.
And, Isabella, I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those. Can you please get it for me?
Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing me a set of keys.
And hurry! We've still got a few minutes to double check those papers.
Shouldn't you have done this before?
Okay, got it.
The two of them disappear behind the parlor door. Their departure brings with it stillness to keep me company, neither welcoming nor comforting. Alone, like this, it's impossible not to think of what really happened. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. Then again, Rose always said she didn't receive any calls from me. Was it just paranoia, a temporary lapse after having heard all those tales about this place? Probably. I want to think of it as such. Better to think of it as such, so I can work in peace. Except for a small part of my mind being to differ. If I'm going to be completely honest with myself, I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I don't know what's in this house, and I don't want to know. The keys Rosa just handed me dig into my palm, jagged edges creating a shallow ridge on my skin from how hard I'm clutching it. It's a reminder of what I still need to do, and why I've taken this job in the first place. Hugging my bracer close to my body, I exit the house to get what Rose asked of me. Just a few more hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money. The fuck? Is it important that I read the journal? Blah, 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 blah. Stuff. Okay, I guess not. A flock of people are already gathered in the mansion's front yard by the time we officially open the doors. I'm not sure whether I should be baffled or underdressed standing in their presence. Come here, energy drink. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in the fancy suits and lovely dresses of various colors, composed the medium-sized crowd. Their necks, arms, and fingers are adorned with silver and gold. Glinting in the afternoon sun, some even has the ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their heads. I really hope those aren't any magpies living nearby like in the stories. Those birds will have a field day in this. They are murmuring amongst themselves, looking at the estate's facade approximately, with some arguing about whose mansion has the superior architecture. Most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased with being ordered around. What can I do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
The what? I don't know.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Hearing this, a few wonder to me. They're mostly old ladies who seem daunted of the idea of climbing those stairs. Miss also joins our group. What really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches.
It's so nice to finally meet you. When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get you.
Tracer, is that you?
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
No blush. Oh.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
Oh, you know each other?
Not at all, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm too amused by that.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Oh, yes, I think I did.
McCullough. They must be the clients she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere before. Some magazine? Or the television? I can't quite remember. McCullough. Then again, most of the guests that likely ended up on the news. One way or another, I won't be surprised if these two already have. For people who are popular enough, they aren't dressed as loudly as the others. And in their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman, in particular, is stunning enough to turn the heads of most people in my group. Especially the men with the wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind though. And if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumption, I think he's basking in the attention. Both of them, in fact. I think they're brother and sister if it wasn't for their public display of affection. What does it say? My only sunshine. Oh, yeah, she has boobs. The matching rings on their fingers just cemented the fact that they are indeed a couple. Whatever. Couple or not, what's important is to get this deal closed before current owners can even think about cancelling the listing. I just hope one of my people or Rose's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. When they aren't whispering amongst themselves or going, ooh, and ah, over one thing or another, they're asking questions. From how restoration process went, to the history of the place, I answer them all, more than happy to talk about the art pieces, architecture mostly. However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Not a good material for sales talk, even if the entire population of Luxborn knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty. Even the glass thing, colorful ones. Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope.
I don't know, I keep expecting something to fall from that chandelier. Like, when we entered, I was expecting to, like, Rose would fall down and go, dead hanging stuff. Which it didn't. I like her caption is lovely lady. Oh my god, she has the what's the necklace called? The Heart of the Ocean. That's what she has around her neck. She was originally on the Titanic.
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancée of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it.
It's the Heart of the Ocean.
It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
By the time I stop talking, her attention is already elsewhere.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
It is splendid, ma'am.
Updated. Timeline? Blah 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 blah. Luke and Hannah, right. See, now it suddenly tells us who the fuck they are.
But isn't it a little too early to make plans when no deal has been signed yet?
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything.
Pish posh.
Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
The rest of their conversation gets lost in the shadow of our companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to give me some semblance of hope. Oh, please, please, please let this guys be the one. Eventually our group reaches the kitchen. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put into retaining the room's classic appeal. This open here at the end of the room is particularly look amazing, like the ones I've only seen in fairy tale books. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Seriously, after overhearing hundreds of their complaints about the salt and the tar staining the bricks, and how much a pain in the arse cleaning this would be, they still managed to pull it off. Or make it look presentable, at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
Dead bodies.
Oh, don't say anything yet. An underground wine cellar.
This is the first time the guy in grey speaks up. Mr. Luke, right? My memory supplies from the form they signed earlier. His suddenly attentiveness catches me off guard. Since the start of the tour, only his wife has shown any form of genuine interest in this place. But this time, something lights up in his eye as the mention of the undercroft. What's so interesting about a basement? I don't really understand rich people sometimes. Right now, it just gives me the impression of a child that's seen what he mostly wants for Christmas. I've always found it cute, however, if I see children act that way. My younger siblings, especially. On a grown man, it's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
Truly. And the room, how was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar have been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room. It's a good place to keep your private collection in, if you have one, sir.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard? Perhaps you could start one here.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
And this isn't big enough?
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it. We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
There's a contemplative expression over Mr. Wright's face, but he doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems rather pleased that he has started to show interest, if only a little. I smile to myself. I may not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I sure hell know how to spot a buyer with a sincere interest. Score! I can't wait to tell Rose. The rest of the tour goes on without a hitch. After more than half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room in the ground floor, and are heading to the parlor. Funny, the first time BRC had us survey this property, I kept complaining to Rose how big it is. Now I can't even bring myself to care, no matter how much my feet hurts. Maybe this is just my excitement over a possible sale. The fuck? When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. It starts off with small goosebumps on my skin. A feeling of being watched intently. Ugh. Whispers in my ears and shadows dancing, lurking in the corner of my vision. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look. A chill settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break down in a cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting for a break anyway. If I can just...
Excuse me? Everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we prepared.
Am I gonna
If
die?
anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
Let him sit while I retreat out of a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I've probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. It does look like that couple, doesn't it? That was the first thing that caught my eye. I was like, oh my god, that looks like them. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out of my lips in a silent prayer, until a hand taps my shoulder.
Hello, you there?
Hello!
Yes, ma'am?
Oh, look at you! Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be exhausting.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm just doing my job.
What a hard worker! Anyway, Isabel, right?
Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right?
Please, just Hannah. Call me Hannah.
Hannah!
I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plagues me is suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. Is this a joke? She looks at me, expectantly as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see... But we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am. We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion. A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further and puts a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with her tight smile, she looks as if she has tasted a particular sour lemon.
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem. And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who'll probably just fill it up with cats.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, ma'am Hannah. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
Perhaps I'm still not feeling well. But really, what's wrong with cats? They're dicks. More importantly, why is she talking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person.
Of course you are.
But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary soon. And it would be so wonderful if you can secure its purchase for us. Why, I can even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork.
Sounds way dodgy.
We actually have a process for this, ma'am. I don't really think that would be necessary or appropriate.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, pish posh.
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
Mm-hmm. Try not to winch when her nails dig into my shoulder. What? Come on. I can't help but send an imploring look at Mrs. McCullough, who only gives me an apathetic smile and a shrug.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers from my hand and shuffles through the bunch. Oh man, Rose is going to be so angry at me for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
Mary Ann. That's not her name is written, is it?
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel.
Isabella.
Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel.
Oh my god, come on.
It's Isabella.
Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors too, and... What's this?
I got an achieve for that. D-list horror prop. A look of confusion and disgust appears on her face. Turning to her husband, he merely shrugs in reply.
That's, an interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with, what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month.
It's probably that letter. I didn't put it there.
You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been appalled. But I'm sure you'll know what to do with our walls once we get started.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, ma'am. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your tastes. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course. It has to always work with a palette.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
It's my turn to be puzzled. What did they mean? Rose and I double-checked everything. Are the paper I handed out not enough? I want to ask what I did wrong. I don't want to mess this up. But with the way Madame Hannah's leading the conversation, I'm afraid that's exactly what will happen if I do interrupt her.
That's good to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Buttercup.
A smile is back on her face when she turns to me and hands me a strange piece of paper.
I would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong impression. Anyway, as I was saying...
Oh, I need my charger. Charge. But, is those the papers we got from Rose's car? How could they have gotten there? I don't hear the rest of what she says after that. I can only stare down at the paper, at the letter, in my hands. The sides wrinkle in my grip, and my breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills my mind.
Isabella? Isabella? Are you alright? You're looking pale.
I didn't even notice when Rose's group joined us in the parlor. I want nothing more than to say that no, I'm not alright. I want to leave this place. Because I remember everything clear as day. This letter and the woman in the attic. It's real.
The letter. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Careless. I've been so careless. How'd I even tell them without looking like I've gone mad? Let's show it. Why isn't Rose? Why isn't Rose on there? I blurred it out before I could think twice of what I was going to say.
Rose, we need to get out of here. This place is cursed.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. Rose cast a nervous glance at the people in the room. More still engaged in the conversation with their peers. Those curious enough to turn their heads to our group's direction had been given her trademark saleswoman smile. A tight expression is on her face when she pulls me aside.
Isabella, we've already had a conversation about this weeks ago. Those are just stories.
And I'm telling you that it's not. I saw something in there. It's not human at all.
I'm going crazy.
I thought it was just nothing, but isn't this letter proof enough?
She gently reached herself to pluck the paper out of my hand. Without even taking a glance at it, she folds it back neatly.
Look, I'm really getting worried about you. I know you want to see this open house through, but your condition is more important. Give me a few minutes to wrap things up here, and I'll drive you to the nearest hospital.
No! You don't understand! There isn't a condition, Rose. No concussion at all. I'm fine. But this place isn't, and you're being stubborn about it.
Before Rose could open her mouth for retort, a hand landed on both her shoulders, pulling the two of us a distance closer.
Now, ladies, what seems to be the problem here?
Nothing, sir. I just had to clarify a few things with my colleague.
Well, it certainly seems intense. A smile fits the two of you better, in my opinion. Especially darling little Lily here.
He gives my shoulder a gentle squeeze, while an inscrutable smile spreads across his face.
It's Isabella, sir.
Of course. But my point still stands. And with two beautiful ladies here, I'm sure.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
Ooh, such drama. The pressure on my shoulder lifts as soon as those words leaves his wife's lips. All the scowl on her face is like a splash of cold water on me. Is it also impossible to miss the displeased frown of Miss McCulloch's face? The realization that we might lose these sales because of my outburst instantly dawns on me. Rose will be beyond pissed.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Bowing my head, I met her quick apology and gathered myself to make a quick exit. Doesn't matter if this place is haunted or not. I've caused trouble, and yours can be quite unforgivable in behavior like this. I'm almost at the door when she catches up to me.
Isabella, wait!
The upper must have been quite obvious on my face because her expression instantly shifted to something gentler. Her eyes softened, a fond smile spreading on her lips.
Hey, I'm not angry.
Yes, you are.
I know. I'm sorry I ruined this for you.
Come on, you didn't ruin anything. It's not like we haven't ran into any problems before. If we don't get a deal today, we can always try on a different day. And look.
She hesitates, completely trailing off before shifting her gaze down to her hands. A small gesture to stall. Her fingers are fiddling with a piece of folded paper. It's that stupid letter again. My hands stiffen when she gives it back, but I take it, nevertheless. More as an automatic response than any desire to have it back. I'll throw it away if I can. But I have this nagging feeling that one way or another it will find its way back to me, regardless of what I do with it.
Rose, this is... You have to let them know about...
I know you want us to get this sale so badly. And we've made a lot of plans on how to go about this. I mean, who wouldn't? This is the first time I've been assigned to a property like this. I've sold plenty of houses before, but nothing like what we have here. It's a beautiful house. I'd love to get one of my own if I ever win the lottery. But I think... Look, here's the thing, Isabella. If we are going to do this, work on something, I don't know, this big, I need you in top shape. And the way you are now...
My mind stops.
What? Wait. No, I can still work. I just need to get myself together.
That's what you said earlier. I let it go because I thought, hey, it's your own body and you should know more than anyone how you feel. But after this, I really think you should take a break.
You just want the money for yourself.
You're kicking me out?
No, I'm not. Look, all I'm asking is for you to take a seat somewhere I can see you, and let me handle this for now. You're clearly not yourself, and I honestly could use some time not worrying when you'll fall over or not. The day's not even over, and I'm already feeling the stress. Please, humor me just this once.
She claps her hand together in front of her, eyes pleading for understanding. And I do understand, to some extent. That doesn't mean I feel any less awful. Whether at myself, at the unlucky turn of the situation I've taken, or for her, I don't really know.
I promise I'll give you a full report of what happens after. I'll even let you take the lead tomorrow.
Fine. Okay. I'll step aside for now.
You're upset.
A little, yeah, obviously.
If it's any consolation, I won't tell the boss about today. You know how he is.
Please don't. I don't want a repeat of the lecture I got during my first assignment. He called me a noob. I don't even know what that means.
He called her a noob. At the memory, we both burst into a helpless giggle, earning our strange looks from the guests milling about the door. Talking and laughing like this, it's easy to forget any mishap that's happened. Little things you learn to appreciate, I guess.
So, are we good?
I'm still not okay with it, but Rose has a point. It's better for me to step out of this one for now.
I won't be able to help you anyways if I keep getting distracted like this. Maybe I'll just take a walk outside or something while I wait for you to wrap things up.
Please, just stay put. I insist.
I'm not an invalid, Rose.
You clearly have not seen how you looked earlier.
It's not that bad.
Color hasn't even returned to your cheeks yet. Just stay here, all right? Don't even think of going anywhere. Let me
Fine.
finish what I'm doing here, and then I'll take you back to Luxembourg myself to have that minor bump checked. At least wait for me to call someone who'll fetch you, okay?
Okay. She's gone before I can even voice one word of complaint. Left with nothing else to do, I find myself drifting back to the foyer. A few visitors linger in the area, some merely enjoying the afternoon sunlight streaming through the stainless glass windows. Others can be seen admiring the priceless antiques decorating the room. One group of elderlies gathered some way across me is occupied with a friendly banter about which one would cost more to buy. A little argument here, an occasional laugh, and a teasing here. I smile to myself. The conversations remind me of what I've been missing these past few months. Rose is probably right. I do need a break. Maybe this afternoon's hangout will help. Speaking of, I should call Ash. It's a few hours early from what I've told him, but he did ask to call me once I'm done. Besides, I don't have a ride back. He offered, so I might as well take it. Or bribe him into giving me one. Not that he'll ever accept that latter. Personal conviction and all. Honestly, if there's something I'd find admirable about him, despite his tendency to annoy the hell out of me, it's that. Well, whatever way works, a free ride is still a free ride. There's Rose's offer too, but despite what she says, I know she'll be busy for the rest of the afternoon, especially without me assisting. Bothering her for a favor as small as this is the last thing I want to do right now. A couple of minutes and a few prayers asking for a decent signal later, the call finally connects and...
Shit!
What?
Shit, how loud is this thing even?
A sharp ringing fills the entire hall, disturbing the pleasant quiet that settled. Soon enough, heads begin to turn in search for the source, mine included. My eyes dart around the small crowd, before staring in on a lone figure crouching behind the small group of old people checking out the decor moments ago. He's facing away from me, fumbling with something in his hands. But I don't need to see his face to know whose back it is. Oh, I'd recognize that dumb Parker anywhere. Without bothering to end the call, I marched towards him. After what happened today, I'm really not in the mood to deal with this.
Of all the times to...
Ashton Frey!
What happened next is something I shall regret later for not having recorded. He jumps, lets out an indefined yelp, followed by his phone slipping out of his grip. It bounces from one hand to the other in his poor attempt to catch it, before ultimately falling flat on the floor with a resounding clack. I kind of feel sorry for the phone and the floor. But it's not every day you can catch someone like Ash off guard and get a reaction. Damn his stupid detective senses. I'll take whatever ounce of victory I can get, no matter how small. Ha. An awkward pause passes between us. A blink. A cough. He makes a face. And then, in a too quick motion, he ducks and retrieves his abused gadget, while a grin threatens to break out from my lips. He doesn't meet my eyes when he straightens, but a flush has crept up his neck and cheeks. In another universe, where we have known each other for 5 years and suffered through his teasing is not a day-to-day occurrences, chances are I'd find that adorable. Endearing, even. Unfortunately, this isn't that kind of world. The way things are, already content to see him out of his obnoxious calm and collected disposure.
Hello to you too, scaredy cat. I could stand to be greeted like a normal person, you know.
What? And miss that look on your face? No way. Oh man, I should have taken a picture.
I am so honored you find this funny. Is that how you treat your guests? I think I need to talk to yours.
Talk to yourself.
Oh
you
shit, I
aren't even
clicked
a
there.
guest here. What are you doing here in the first place?
For a moment, he looks like a cat that swallowed a canary. Suddenly, checking every nook and cranny in his phone for any damage or scratches. It seems to be a more interesting activity than explaining himself.
Ash,
I could be looking to buy a house.
a mansion.
Yeah, why not? Did you see the view outside? It doesn't look haunted to me at all.
He's messing with me.
Ashton, I am not in the mood. What are you doing here?
He chances a glimpse at some point behind me. The parlor? Curious, I follow his gaze before I can figure out what's caught his attention. He places a hand on my shoulder and turns my back to face him.
I just finished working on something, so I dropped by.
Still don't see how his work has anything to do with why he's here. At my confused look, he drops the hand resting on my arm, like he has touched something particularly hot, and casually rubs the back of his neck.
And I said I'll see if I can pick you up. Turns out I can. Free time and all. So here I am. Figured you'd still be busy, and so I roamed around for a while.
Oh, you should have mentioned that sooner. I was about to throw you out.
Throw me? Hey, I was given a pamphlet. I think that makes me a legitimate client.
We have mandatory sign-in sheets for clients, Ash. I didn't see your name on it. And you can't just roam around because it says open house. Normal people actually follow an etiquette here.
Right, okay. I think I'll just go ahead and...
No, wait. I wasn't really going to throw you out. Rose said... Never mind. I was just about to leave anyway.
Wait, what? Now?
Something must have shown in my face because he pauses and gives me a long, hard stare. Sometimes I forget how easily reading people is for Ash, given how often he looks at as everything around him is a chore. I avoid his eyes, hoping he will drop on the subject and won't ask any more questions. The last thing I want to tell him what happened, especially the part about the letter. In fact, he's the last person on Earth I will ever think about telling it to, if I can help it. Sure, he's a dependable guy. God knows how many times he's helped me, even without me asking for it. But stuff like ghosts and the supernatural? He'll never believe those, even if he hears it from a friend. Especially maybe if it's Rebecca. On a good day, the most harmless thing he'll do is give you an explanation why those things have no chance of even being real. At worst, he's insufferable. He'll poke fun at you for every single chance he'll get. Asshole. What did I ever do to him? He never does that to Becca or Zack. I can already imagine how things would go down the moment I spill the words of what I saw. Nope. Over my dead body. Before he catches his attention, I shove the letter deep in my bag.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Let's just go.
Doesn't look like a nothing to me.
We still have Zack's movie tonight, remember?
It's still early. And didn't you say your shift will end around 5 or 6? What about... Hey, Isabella, wait up!
A rush of air greets me as soon as the main door opens. Not the unusual autumn draft, but a still welcoming change from shifting atmosphere inside the mansion. Ash's footsteps are quickly behind me, the soles of his shoe thumping hard against the polished concrete in the awkward ascent as he rushes to catch up. He calls out once, twice. The mansion still zooms in the background. Whispers calling me back. Shadows beckoning. I don't look back. We spend the ride back to Luxborn City in a relevant, quiet manner, with only the radio's disjointed hum in the background to fill the silence. Occasionally, Ash will reach out to fiddle with it until the signal settles, or it's on a respectable volume. Otherwise, he doesn't say anything. Neither do I. However, if the furtive glances he's been sending my way are signs, I know there's things he's been itching to ask since we left the mansion. I keep my eyes trained on the passing scenery outside, in a small hope that this interest will whatever.
Here.
All of a sudden, he tosses something at me from the small component of his side. It hits me cleanly on the chin before I can make a move to catch it. The small package makes a soft landing on my lap instead.
Sorry.
The glare ascending wipes the smirk about to form cleanly off his face. He clears his throat, focuses his eyes on the road again. I swear he did that on purpose. Ignoring him, I flip the half-forgotten package on my lap.
I won't say no to free food, but why are you giving away cereal bars?
I always have one on my person, and you look like you're about to pass out back there. Have you eaten lunch yet?
I don't even get a chance to deny it because, right on cue, my stomach rumbles loudly and an empty, gnawing feeling in my belly becomes noticeable. No surprise there, I did skip breakfast and lunch so I could catch Becca while she was at break. I was hoping to get a small meal after. I guess with everything going on, I just forgot until Ash mentioned it. It's not like the hollow feeling's new to me, though. If anything, it's just one of the things I've gotten used to ignore over the years growing up. Thanks, then I tear open the package and start nibbling on the edge of the bar. Apart from an acknowledgement nod, Ash doesn't say anything after the small exchange. For that, I'm thankful. After getting an earful from both Becca and Rose, it's nice to be able to sit down with someone who doesn't going to nag at you.
How'd the open house go?
The usual. We got a bigger crowd than normal because of the property's fame, but really no different from the typical open house. On second thought, it actually looks like a fancy party more than an open house. I've never felt so underdressed in my life. Weren't you there?
I wasn't really listening.
I should have asked someone to kick you out.
No, you won't.
And what makes you so sure?
One, ever since you got assigned to this property, you've been freaking out about it. Rebecca's words, not mine. She's been complaining to me about how you talked your ears off, by the way. Two, despite your initial qualms about the place, you still took the job. Which brings us to three. It's been months since you last settled a deal, and you're short on money right now since you're back to your instant noodle diet.
Everyone apparently knows what I eat.
How do you even know about the last one?
Rebecca. Anyhow, you're hellbent on selling the mansion. Even if someone you know personally is in the tour group, you aren't going to just kick them out. Every single person who went on your open house is still a prospective client to you, even me.
He's not entirely wrong. Oh man, I walked right into that one, didn't I?
I hate you. I really hate you right now.
His answer suggests a small laugh, the kind of screams, "I'm right, I told you so." I hate it when he does that.
I'll have you know that there's already someone who's extremely interested in this property. So even if you expressed any sort of interest in it, I don't think they'd be willing to let you have it. Too bad.
Provided I didn't botch it with the rights. Sorry, updated. Branching tree? Okay, let's not do that then. Madam Hannah in particular didn't look too pleased with what I did. I owe Rose a big apology. I hope she likes free donuts.
You don't seem too happy about it.
I am happy. Doesn't this look like a happy face to you?
Really? And here I was thinking you found another one stuffed in the sofa. Or is it the wardrobe this time?
I meant that as a joke. How close to the truth made my blood run cold. And my own heartbeat, a heavy weight in my chest. All at once, the letter in my bag feels a whole lot heavier, burdened by my own guilt and apprehension.
Yeah, well, things happened. Stuff the right couple might not be pleased about. No need to make a fuss about it. It's normal in the business.
You made them angry?
Not angry, just stuff happened.
Like?
Things.
Did they do anything? Your clients, the Wrights, was it?
I can't answer that. Let's
You
change.
keep asking me about my work, yet you haven't said a single word about yours.
I guess that's good that it goes up.
That's not fair. Both you and Zach have literally disappeared off the face of the earth.
No excavation. A change of subject to something else is still better than outright lying to him. Besides, it never works with him. I'm not sure if it's because I'm just bad at it or because he's just really good at his job. He doesn't answer immediately, only momentarily shifts a glance over at me, returning it back to the road when he has to make a sharp turn. Outside, the sun is already starting to descend, casting a vibrant orange glow on the tall buildings. Oh god, I can talk to I wonder how long before we reach the venue of Zach's movie. Checking the street signs outside, it appears Ash has taken the long route. Odd. He's probably trying to avoid the rush hour traffic.
Didn't we just talk a week ago over chat?
That's different. Linking your awful memes in the group chat box every morning isn't exactly a conversation.
Excuse me, I don't hear you calling them awful while you're laughing at all of them.
Shut up! And you aren't answering my question.
Memes. That earns him a soft punch to his arm. I did laugh at them, but I'm not gonna give him the satisfaction of knowing that I find most of them funny. It only makes his head bigger, stupid Ash.
Alright. Lay off on the abuse. Remember that case I mentioned before?
You had a case? Okay.
We've been trying to pin the bastard down, but it required more work than we anticipated. The guy's slippery like that. We got some good lead months ago.
You're an agent or policeman or something? You don't look like one. He recounts what he's been doing in the time we haven't seen each other. His usual work, the occasional small investigation, and the big cases he's been stuck on working on. Stuff he couldn't mention in the brief time we catched each other online. Although most of it are trimmed down versions, only thing he can tell, he has always been careful about that. Even in the way he spins his answers to my question. Just enough to satisfy my curiosity, but not enough to paint the whole picture. At one point, his voice takes on a strained tone when he mentions something about the big case, but I don't dwell on it too much. That's normal, right? I mean, who wouldn't be frustrated if you can bring someone to justice because they simply kept slipping out of your fingers? If I were in his shoes, I'd definitely lose my mind. His stories never cease to be entertaining to me regardless. If things weren't the way they were back home, maybe I could have considered taking on the same job as him. Well, no, not really. Mama would never allow it. But the idea is still there. All along with countless others I've let go. Time passes quickly between us in this manner, and before I know it, we're already at the movie house. A small crowd has already formed in front of the theater when we arrive. The Lift Fest, short for Luxembourg Independent Film and Theatre Festival, attracts a bigger crowd usually, and this year is no different. I've only been a few indie movie screenings with Zach, so I'm not an expert on the matter. But I know that for people hoping to make a break in the industry, getting your film recognized by local events like this is already a big deal. especially for a newcomer like Zack. He hasn't even won an award, but just getting a confirmation letter from the festival committee wants to include his movie in this year's lineup already put a grin on his face for weeks. Speaking of the guy, he's impossible to miss. At 6 feet, he appears to loom over most of the moviegoers. With his large build and heavy voice, there's no surprise when people give him a wide berth as they pass by. It's often easy to mistake him for someone intimidating at first glance. I did back when I didn't know any better. Ash did too, I heard, once early in their friendship.
Oh, there's Zack.
Hey, Lucio!
Hey, you guys! Long time no see!
Zack's face lightens up with a smile of his own. He moves towards us with careful footsteps, taking a significant effort to make himself smaller, as not bump or occasionally hit anyone. Typical Zack. As he nears, Ash casually raises his hand in a greeting and...
Sup, Z-Man, my main man. What's crack-a-lackin', my homie?
The awkwardness that descends within the intimidating vicinity of our small group is pampered enough. Somewhere to her left, a girl giggles, and only when I do become aware of my mouth hanging open. I'm almost amazed how Ash can say it out loud with a straight face. Almost. Considering his track record, I should be used to it by now. Zack seems to be.
Yo, stop trying to act black, Ashton. And you're the only one who calls me Z-Man.
Wait, did we go there? There's a fondness underneath his aspiration tone. If there were any other person, he'd likely be offended. But years of friendship and familiarities have made those words harmless to the other's ears. Or at least enough for both of them to take it in a stride.
It's been a while, Zack.
I hope you didn't get into trouble again.
Not much to get into trouble lately without you, I'm afraid. I'll let you know if something comes up, though.
Nah, I ended up with Chicken Down stuck on me last time I agreed. I'd really love at least this year to pass without some sort of accident happening again.
Hey, I take offense to that. It wasn't that bad.
You really have no idea.
A beat passes. And then, Zack laughs.
Hey, I'm kidding. You know you can always count on me.
It's a story only the two of them are privy to. Every now and then, Ash will enlist Zack's help on something. Beck and I never really found out what the real deal is with those adventures, as Ash calls it. And both aren't willing to tell due to some unspoken agreement. She insists that as if Ash is likely not something illegal or life-threatening. I tend to believe her on that. Sometimes. Oh well, boys will be boys, I guess. I give Zack a small wave from behind Ash when his attention eventually turns to me.
Bella! Huh? Rebecca's not with you. Is she still sick?
A bit. But she's up and went to work this morning. You know she doesn't listen to anyone that's not Ash.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't. You're literally the only person she'll listen to when she's feeling stubborn.
It's true. They know each other far longer than any of us in the group. Childhood friends and all.
But don't worry, Zack. She's probably on her way here now.
Oh, she's dead. Everyone's dead.
She promised she wouldn't miss your movie.
Isabella! Oh, thank goodness.
Speak of the devil. Without a warning, a hand grabs me by the shoulder and turns me around.
Becca, you're just in time.
Jen? I had to lean back a little with the way her face is almost invading my personal space, but she places her hand on either side of my head to keep me still. She stares at me intensely, concern filling her eyes.
Becca, you're squishing my face.
How are you? Are you all right?
Why wouldn't I be?
Boobs.
Rose called me earlier.
I see how it is. Those 4 words tell me all I need to know. Since I don't have any family living close by, the only other relative I have here works on the far side of the country, I gave my company Becca's contact number in case of emergency. I should have known Rose would call her. I pushed Becca's hands away from my face. Although she lets go, her eyebrows remain drawn together.
Oh, no, no, everything's good.
Boobs!
Covered for me at work today.
That got her
That's not what
attention.
I'm talking about. How's your head?
Besides me, Ash snickers. I bit back on the urge to elbow him in the side for trying to avoid Becca's hand as she tries to reach out for the set area. Do my best to dodge her, all at once moving to hide behind Zack. Sorry for using you as a human shield, Zack.
Oh, it's nothing. I just slipped off a few steps on my way down. I blacked out for a few seconds and had a minor bump, but it's just that.
You blacked out? It's not something to brush off. Come on, at least let me check it.
It's extremely minor. You wouldn't even know it's there.
Maybe got a hole in her head.
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
No, Mom.
She did look pale when I saw her.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this. Just you wait.
Boom, 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 boom.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Maybe.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
Something crosses Becca's face, but it's gone before I can figure out what it is.
Oh, that's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good.
See? I'm okay. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. And I don't want to miss Zack's film.
We can always watch it some other time. Sorry, Zachary.
No, it's good. But you guys should really keep it down. We're starting to attract some attention.
Oh, we don't like attention.
It's the premiere. The premiere's different. Right, Zack?
I shoot him a pleading look. Zack's a sensible guy. He'll understand. Please understand.
Not really. But Rebecca has a point. In the end, I think it's your call.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Please, Becca. I really don't want to miss it.
Please.
You're not missing it. We're just moving it on a different day so we can have a...
Look, you guys.
Ash's loud sigh unexpectedly cut through the conversation. He's pinching the bridge of his nose as he speaks, something he usually does when he's getting impatient.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either.
I think I could tie her to share, something like that.
Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
Or he grumpy.
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zack's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself.
That's the second time anyone's said that so far. No one's taken me.
Is that good enough for you?
Yes, Schnuggums. I already knew the answer before Becca voiced it out. When at least we release a deep breath and nods, albeit with a great reluctance, I immediately tackle her into a hug.
Becca?
It's always been you with him, isn't it?
Did you say something?
I wasn't paying attention.
Me? Nothing. Don't mind me.
She's jelly.
If you say so.
She's so jelly.
Okay, guys, showtime's close, so I think I'm gonna get us. Anyone here has a smaller bill?
Ah, I clicked it fast.
I think I do. Hold on.
I want to save there. I haven't saved. I pull myself off from Rebecca to get my wallet from my bag and...
What's this?
Oh no, it's the fucking letter! It's already in Ash's hand before I can even react. Behind him, Becca and Zack are both giving the piece of paper an intrigued look.
No! Give it back!
It's just a paper.
I don't care! Give it!
Looks ancient, too. Why do you keep this around?
I try to reach for it, but he holds the paper way above his head. I've never been particularly sensitive about my own height, but right now, I really wish I had the advantage over him.
Don't open it!
What's the big deal? It's not like it's a love letter. I don't see any reason to... Hold on a second. This is, isn't it?
No.
Even if it is, it's not for you.
Okay, now I'm curious.
I'm telling
Spike
you,
ears?
it's nothing like that. It's...
The rest of my words are lost when he unfolds the paper. Too early for Halloween. But achieve. I can't breathe. My heart is stuck in my throat, pounding, threatening to burst out. Vaguely, I take the... I note how my hands are trembling at my sides. Clasping them together doesn't do any good. They're still shaking, and I hang on to them regardless. The awful sick weight that has taken its core in my stomach back in the open house returns full force. How do I fix this? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? Someone, please. Today's turning out to be a horrible nightmare.
Send this to 5 people or else. Well, that's interesting.
Guys, I think we should listen to Bella first.
Aren't you a few days early for Halloween?
Ash waves the paper in front of me, giving me a fleeting glimpse of its content. I don't need to see it. I don't want to see it. The letters, the words, every stroke written in blood already embedded into my mind. Maybe I should have thrown it away when I had the chance. That way. That way.
It's not a prank.
It makes all of them stop, as I'm surprised at how steady my voice is.
What did you say?
This isn't a prank! I saw something!
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
Hold on. Are we still talking about this paper? Or is it about the urban legend again?
Both. I know it sounds ridiculous.
You're saying this is a primitive version of a chain letter, and now that we've seen it, we're now cursed. You've got to be kidding me.
See? This is why I didn't want to tell you guys.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
No.
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up. There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit is true.
You say that now, just wait until you die, then you'll be like, oh, supernatural
But
shit.
it's real! What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
Without another word, I snatched the letter out of Ash's hands and stuffed it back in my bag. The more than forced and necessary. I'm tired. I got curious, saw a ghost, probably lost a sale, got kicked out of the open house I'm supposed to be hosting. My own friends won't believe me, and all of them think I'm crazy. To top it off, there's a dull ache at the back of my head begging for a little attention I can't afford to give it right now. Honestly, there's only so much a person can take in a single day. I just want to go home, curl up in my bed, and never think about today. Before I can take a single step away from the group.
Guys!
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to haunt your Twitch app. I'm so sorry. Zack rarely ever raises his voice, even when there's a point he wants to drive home, and hearing him take on that note completely throws me off. Even Ash and Becca. Whatever harsh words yet to come out of this argument immediately die on our tongues.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together? We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
Please. He has a point. Ash, for all his attempts to look cool and distant, has also been looking forward to this. He even took the time to call this morning for a reminder. He never does that. Becca too, I'm pretty sure there's another reason why she got out of bed today. Yet despite Zack's attempt to lighten things up, or Ash's and Becca's cozying gestures, the tightness in my chest remains. I should have kept it to myself, or at least went with the idea that it's a prank. If I did, things might not have turned out the way they had. No sour mood, no bad vibes. Careless, so careless. Should we stay for the movie, or should we go home? What do you guys think? Should I stay or should I go? Docky says stay. I'll stay. On any other day, I'd excuse myself and go straight home. It's gone up. Sack's gone up. Yay! Too late now. Stayed. But this is something special for Zack. Something he's worked so hard to bring to life. I should know better. I might be having a bad day, but being with a few people I care about far outweighs the idea of spending the rest of the day throwing a tantrum alone in my room. But what if the thing in the attic followed me home? I don't want to be left in my thoughts either. I can still see it whenever I close my eyes. And maybe, if I stay, let our heads cool down first before telling them what happened, they'll listen to me. There's nothing you can solve with a calm head. One step at a time, Isabella. That's what Mama used to tell me. Besides, I don't have the heart to ditch Zack. A smile is back on my face when I look back at them.
If we keep arguing here, we're going to miss the first few minutes.
All right, that's the Isabella I know.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, good. I thought for sure you were going to cry.
Did she just hit him? This time, I really do send an elbow straight to his stomach. Stupid Ash. Being vertically challenged has its perks too.
What was that for?
Stop calling me a crybaby! I'm not one.
Aw, don't cry.
Don't cry, little baby.
Stop it!
Okay, scaredy cat then.
That's not any better.
That too. If you repeat that, I swear I'll...
Let's just go.
Without another word, Becca goes inside. She doesn't even stop to wait for us when I call after her. Ash and I exchange looks at that. The same question is likely swimming inside our minds. Did something happen at school after I left? Is she having a bad day too? I'll try asking about it later, I guess.
So, you guys go catch up with her. I'll go get us the food, I promise.
Okay, man.
But you'll miss it.
Didn't you say watching a movie without food ain't fun? And it ain't like I haven't seen it. I made it, remember?
No shit, Lucio, number 2.
I'll be in there soon.
One friendly tap on my shoulder and then he's gone. A few moviegoers are still milling about. Some are still waiting in line for tickets, but otherwise most of the crowd is already inside. There's nothing much for us to do here now. Not a word of protest comes from you, and Ash gestures for the two of us to head inside.
And then?
Are you sure it wasn't one of the cleaning crews?
Seriously, we're gonna talk about this during the movie?
Absolutely sure.
Is this a slave movie or something? Looks like it. Somehow, halfway through the movie, the conversation steers towards what happened in the mansion. To be fair, Zack was the one who brought it up again. In his own movie premiere. Now the film's just serving as background noise, while we're speaking in hushed tones, careful not to disturb anyone inside the small hall. Well, except Ash. Just hope we didn't end up arguing about it again. We'll get kicked out for sure. Though, with how loud Ash's voice is, we'll probably get thrown out way before any argument happen. Yeah, I hate people who talk in the cinemas. It's the worst. Only Becca still remained engrossed in the movie, completely ignoring us. She's been quiet the whole evening, speaking only when referred to. If I didn't know any better, I think we did something that offended her. Did we?
And then I ran. You heard what happened after.
I still think it's something else.
It was standing right in front of me, Ash.
He's one of the smartest people I know, but geez, he should learn to listen. Plus, didn't he say he doesn't believe in these things? Why is he in this conversation again?
I heard what you said, but it's a small room. There are a lot of things someone else could have done there without your knowledge. If I could see it up close, maybe I can...
I am not going back there.
Ain't that a problem if you're hosting an open house?
Rose does the first floor tour.
I ain't sure ghosts can be restricted to one room, Bella.
There are no ghosts, Zack. Stop putting useless ideas in her head.
Yeah, but I was thinking, maybe all the house needs is a blessing. Wasn't it left uninhabited for years?
Oh, the house did change hands over the years, from one distant relative of the Ermitage to another. See, that's all it's called now, Ermitage. None of them bothered to live in it, though, and it remained that way until the current owner decided to sell it. Why didn't I think of that?
I didn't peg you as the religious type, Zack.
Nothing like that, Ash. Who knows, though? It might bring something positive to the place.
That's not a bad idea. I just don't know where I could find someone.
It's very boring. It's a one still picture movie. Very creative indie movie. I wouldn't pay for it.
You're not seriously considering his suggestion, are you?
Me too.
Do you have a better idea?
I know where. I could contact him for you if you want.
You'd do that?
Or we can find you a psychologist instead.
Wow. There are very few times in my life where I wish my Glovers can kill. This is one of those. What the fuck is Glovers?
Ash, that is not a very appropriate thing to say right now.
No, wait, that's not what I meant. Ethnographer. I meant ethnographer. This guy's a psychologist too, of course, if you...
Ashton, if you don't stop...
Rebecca knows the guy I'm talking about too. She can vouch for him.
Becca tears her eyes away from the screen at the mention of her name.
What? Oh, are you talking about Professor Andrew? He used to work with my parents at the university. And can you guys keep it down?
Sorry, the scaredy cat here mentioned curses. Not that I'm saying this is one.
Yeah, but Glovers. What is Glovers? Is that
But
like...
talking to him is a better solution for me than getting a random priest to bless an old house. He'll even help you figure things out, teach you a couple things. And probably put your fears to rest, since this looks to be bothering you a lot.
Oh, okay. Hey, I learned something new. Ash might be right, too. However, what Zack suggested is something I'm more familiar with. Granted, they don't believe me. They're only giving me these suggestions to put my mind at ease. But it's better than being ignored and being laughed at. I can take comfort in knowing they're willing to hear me out.
So, what do you think?
That's your call. We'll go with whatever you want.
We're gonna get a blessing.
I don't know.
Let's meet with the priest. I believe in priests.
I'll think about it. But maybe we could go with Zack's idea?
Zack likes me a lot.
I'm not so sure about that.
Shut up, asshole.
Well, it
I
wouldn't
mean,
hurt to try, right?
asshole.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least we did something than just stand around. I'll let you know when he's available, Bella.
Okay, thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Zach. I knew I could count on you.
Guys, I said keep it down. You keep insisting that we still watch it, yet you're not even paying attention yourselves.
It ain't a big deal, Rebecca. I'm the one who broached the subject in the first place.
It's still your film, Zachary. A good film, mind you. You worked hard on this.
Just one still, Becca.
The least we could do is watch it with you.
Yes.
And that's what y'all doing. I really appreciate all of you making time for this.
Sorry, Becca. We'll stop now.
But he looks like Lucy. Yo! A trophy apology. Look, even if Ash is the one who should be reprimanded. Another word. But her attention is already back to the screen. She's ignoring us again. When Becca's acting this way, there's a big chance something's nagging at her. Really need to talk. We all fall into the comfortable silence after, the kind only you can share with people you're most at ease with. For the first time today, the letter lies forgotten in my bag, if only for a few hours. Ooh, spooky spook. Night has fallen by the time we exit the movie house. Despite the late hour, the streets are still bustling full of people. Those who are on the head home, those who set to meet someone, or even simply wander about. Walking the sea unfamiliar souls, it strikes me how easy it is for one to get lost in a city as undiscipled as Luxborn. I was afraid too, at one point back when I was new and had to set foot in this place. Now with familiar faces walking with me, it feels a little like home. Zack and Ash bid us goodbye shortly before Rebecca and I crossed to the other side of the street. The former claiming she's got a few freelance jobs to take care of before the day's end. And Ash? Who knows? He never tells. Is that at night?
Point of no return. Coming to cinema near you on October 23rd.
Sometimes he just randomly appears at your doorstep, looking for a place to crash. He does that to Zack a lot, much to the latter's frustration. Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. But he's a busy guy too, in spite of the laid-back air he gives off.
Thanks for today, everyone!
Oh my god, why are you so loud?
No problem, Zach. I'm sorry for what happened earlier.
Oh no.
Huh?
A sensation. Cold, sickening, drowning. My chest tightens, breathing becomes labored. I can't taste blood in my mouth. The edges of my vision blurs. In the distance, amidst the countless nameless people going about their lives, a voice reaches out to me. Pleading even if I clench my eyes tight and clasp my hands over my ears. Whispering and whispering and whispering. Calling out.
No, not me.
Somebody.
Isabella? Earth to Isabella?
Her voice. The whole world suddenly snaps into place. The murmurs gone. And I open my eyes. Becca raised an eyebrow to me in question.
Weren't you listening? Are you coming with me?
Oh, yeah. Just, okay. Sorry, I spaced out.
You always do that.
And she's so grumpy.
Becca, why are you so grumpy? I followed her without complaint, but not before sneaking a glance to the far end of the street, where the voice came from, where another set of eyes might be staring at me. Nothing. There's only Zack and Ash watching over us as we head back to where Becca parked her car. If I expect him to see something or someone there, I try not to let it show. Try not to think of the tiny pinpricks of fear crawling on the pit of my stomach.
See you guys some other time.
Okay, Lucio!
Yeah, see ya.
Another glance, and with a final wave, we go off on our own ways. I don't know what I saw. I don't know what I heard. I don't want to know. And if this, what would help me sleep tonight, what would give back the normalcy in my life, then so be it. Ooh. The darkness closes around me, grasping, pulling, engulfing me. The ground caves in and without warning I'm falling. My eyes snap open. For an instant, it doesn't immediately register where I am. Both my back and shoulders ache as if I slept all hunched up the night before. Drenched in sweat, the nest of the pillows I often keep around me feels more suffocating than comforting. I let my eyes adjust to the bright morning light streaming through my window, and allow my breathing to slow down before untangling myself from the pile. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxborn, or at least none that I can recall having. It's a shame because they used to be so vivid. She really likes them noodles. It's the tiniest fridge ever. And there's some noodles. There's noodles. Not that crazy vivid, but the more pleasant kind I'll tell my siblings about. And panties. Don't forget the panties, Doc. There. Maybe it's just the stress of living alone. The knowledge that I'll always wake up in an empty apartment with no one to tell stories to.
What time is it?
Habit forces me to look over at the clock, even with the soreness weighing heavily on my shoulders, and then compulsive to never leave my bed for the day. In a heartbeat, I'm up.
Oh man, of all the times to oversleep. Towel? Where's my towel?
Admittedly, it's weekend, as an unspoken rule that entitles me to extra hours of sleep. But if Rose didn't kill me yesterday, she sure as hell will now. And right after what happened. Oh Lord, 1 box of donuts of peace offering won't be enough for a second time around. Grabbing my towel, I'm already a few short steps away from the bathroom and a muffled ringing breaks out from my bag. There's a moment of indecision at first. My mind conflicts whether I should ignore or answer it. But what if it's Rose? Or worse, our boss? Ah, jeez. In the end, the rational part of my brain wins out. The letter from yesterday peeks out from when I pulled the device out. Just the sight of it enough to put me in a foul mood. And it takes even a force of will for me to ignore its favor of answering the call. The caller ID reads Mama.
Huh?
It's around 4:45 p.m. in the Philippines right now.
That's an unusual time for them to call.
Unusual is around noon time here, and I'm the one calling, not the other way around. Better for them to use that money on something else than international call. Regardless, it's the most cheerful tone I can gather.
Hello?
Hello? Grace? How are you?
Grace?
Mama! I'm doing okay.
Grace?
How are you guys over there?
We're good. EJ won a storytelling contest at school the other week. Brought home a medal. I thought you should know.
There's a tired lilt in her voice as she speaks. It's been there since Papa had to leave his job. I wish there was something I could do for her. But from miles away like this, the least I'm able to is not make her worry. If my only brother would actually lend her a hand, but Lord knows if that's never ever gonna happen. Odds are Kuja Jordan's already out drinking right now. Again. I can't count on my older sister either, knowing she has a family of her own and, well, 8. Anne's financial situation isn't exactly great right now. Having ran herself knee-deep in debt.
Great! That's great! Tell him congratulations for me. And let him know I'm gonna send him a little something extra this Christmas. How about Nico? Karen? Michael? I hope they're okay?
They're doing well. They wanted to talk to you, but they're all busy with school.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep doing their best for me. I'll just call back when I know they're not busy.
Why we don't have a picture of our mama?
And Papa? How's Papa doing?
Such subject I'm a little hesitant to broach. From the way Mama's voice hitches, she doesn't want to bring it up either.
Papa. Grace, he's having a little difficulty right now. Weak appetite, he's having trouble swallowing, and lost a few pounds. But the doctor said we should keep encouraging him. It just means his body's accepting his new treatment well. The money you sent last time helped a lot to pay for it, by the way.
Oh, I see. That's good.
I won't deny that life has gotten tougher for our family. It used to be easy back when Papa was in good shape. But ever since he was diagnosed with a sickness 5 years ago, he has been unable to provide for us. Now the burden of feeding 8 mouths and settling Papa's bills all rest on my shoulders. Although Mama makes a little, accepting sewing and laundry jobs in our neighborhood, it's scarcely enough to cover the costs of day-to-day living, let alone the bloating hospital bills. We can't even accept help from our own government because health insurance there barely covers anything.
I'm sure he'll get better soon. Is he well enough to talk? Do you think I'll be able to speak to him, Ma?
Silence. I started to think that the call got cut until...
Listen, Grace. Maybe it's better if we transfer Papa to a different hospital. Somewhere cheaper?
What? Why? Did something happen? Is it the deposit issue again? Give me the hospital's number. I'll talk to them.
No, it's nothing bad. The service here is good. Too good. Even the doctors. But I'm worried you're working yourself to the ground because of it.
Mama, we've been through this before. I want the best for Papa. And don't worry about the bills or the medicine, or me for that matter.
She does worry. Oh, Mama.
I can handle myself. Everything's going well here. In fact, we're about to close a large sale.
Hopefully. If not, then I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know about that. Sorry, Mama. You taught me not to lie, yet look at what I'm doing.
I'll have money to send over soon to cover the rest of Papa's treatment. And there's more than enough for Karen, Nico, Michael, and EJ's school tuition, too.
Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But I just wish you'd come home to us soon.
Ah. Kailan ka uwi? When are you coming home? EJ, the youngest, used to be the only person asking me that. How do you respond to a question you don't have a definite answer to? 5 years later, I still can't give them a straight one. I smile, though Mama can't see it. I fight to keep my lips from quivering, my voice from shaking. She's got enough on her plate as it is. No need to weigh her down with unnecessary concern.
Promise me you'll be there to welcome me when I do, okay?
Of course. I'm sorry, Grace. I need to take this for a while.
There's a small commotion on the other side. The other end. The sound of gates opening, the voices of a child. EJ, talking excited about his day at school. Tapping a feet on the floorboard as he runs. It's been years since I went home, but I can still picture the whole scene in my mind. How tall is he now? Is the neighborhood kids bullying him now that I'm not around? Did Mama rearrange the furniture in the living room again? What are they having for dinner today? I miss them. I miss them so much.
It's okay, Ma. I need to go too. I've got work today. I'll call again soon, alright?
On a Saturday? Oh, never mind. Take care of yourself, dear. I love you.
I love you. Bye.
It ends with a soft click, leaving half-truths and empty promises hanging in the air. Closing my eyes for the moment, I take a deep breath and shake away the thoughts beginning to swim inside my head. It's pointless to mule over these things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Unfortunately, before I can take a single step away from my phone, it rings again. No doubt Mama forgot to say something.
Mama? Did you forget anything?
Don't you look at your pictures when you open the phone?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping? Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
Office? What about the open house? Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble? Oh god, oh god, oh god! I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if...
No, it's nothing like that. Will you calm down? Get yourself here, alright? I'll tell you everything then.
There's a telltale din of several shuffling against wooden flooring, and a distant yelling in the background before Rose cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting, but it is enough reason for me to hastily discard my phone, finish my shower in record time. I make it to our office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment, completely soiled and out of breath. A feat if I take it into account of my usual travel time. Routine glamour, common in Briar Realty Corporation's Luxembourg office, greets me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Papers rustling, phones ringing at sporadic intervals, agents talking in variety volumes, staff moving about, and...
Where the hell is C? Where are my employees?
Oh jeez.
What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice.
Pish posh, pish posh.
My boss's words turn muffled as someone else crosses the door to his office, likely the work of our HR manager. Throughout the past weeks, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees who has failed to report to work. I heard they're still trying to get a hold of them, but no avail. The result is half their workload has been shifted to all of available staff, as to not lose clients. Not that I minded the extra work. If anything, it means I have more to send my family back home. Although the rumors of a branch closure circuiting because of this is, indeed, a bit worrisome. My bag barely touches the top of my table when Rose pulls me aside.
Dear, I need you to help me with these papers.
What are you done, Rose?
If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of paperwork in my hands, without explanation. A page flutters away from the top of the pile and I lean down to pick it up, my eyes scanning the top of the pages as I straighten. A purchase and sale agreement? Rose simply gestures his thumb in the direction of his visitor's lounge when I tilt my head in question. There, seated on the sofa and looking comfortably out of place in the humble decorated room, is the same couple from the day before. The Wrights. Something bubbles in my throat. Their presence in the office can only mean one thing.
They're buying it? We got a deal?
She swats at my hand, tugging her sleeve, although her eyes are aligned with something akin to joy. She wants this sale to happen as much as I do. And now that it's here, the deal needs to be closed yet documented to be signed still. But the elation is there, along with the foreboding feeling I can't quite pinpoint.
I had to do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house. I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madame Wright. She didn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible. I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Even with that urban legend?
Rose nods.
Oh, I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
I mean...
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
Don't they have better things to spend money on? I'd haggle it down to the lowest possible price if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it. Not that it's my, not that my opinion matters on one bit here. We're just their agents who are going to receive the hefty commission after all. Nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, signaling that she's heading back to them, an unspoken instruction for me to follow her after I'm done. It doesn't take me long to finish my work she left me. In fact, having our boss sign the agreement is the easiest, so that it has put him in a better mood to the entire office relief. Madame Hannah calls me over the moment she noticed my presence at the lounge door. Her lips are twisted in a frown. She doesn't seem particularly happy to see me, and I'm not surprised. Who would be? I almost created a scene. Mr. Wright, however...
Why, if it isn't the little Lily? I trust you're feeling well now.
It's Isabella, sir, not Lily. I appreciate your concern. I'm feeling better now.
I really don't understand why they can get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. Regardless, I hand him their copy of the agreement.
I believe I can take that. Thank you very much.
With how elegantly she plucks the papers out of my hand, it's easy to think that there isn't any trace of irritation in her. But it is there, radiating from her stiff stance, in a way she's standing at a far distance from her husband, and how the two look to be ignoring each other. Seeing this scene, it soon becomes clear to me that I'm not the one who has put her in a bad mood. Did they fight? Most probably. I've seen it happen dozens of times with my previous clients. It's a shame, especially with their new mansion. Never did like it when my own mama and papa fought. I hope they will make up soon. Apparently satisfied with what she sees, Madame Hannah claps her hands together before extending it to us for a shake. Rose and I release the breath we've been holding, both of us more happy to return the gesture.
That settles it then? Are you really sure about this property, ma'am? We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings. Something with a modern touch?
Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glance and Chloe says, "Don't make a scene, we're almost there."
Of course, why wouldn't I be?
I don't
The
know.
house is absolutely perfect, isn't
Ghosts,
it, darling?
curses, blood, dead.
A helipad would still be a nice addition.
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately. Shame she didn't have it. Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope.
Why are they so eager to move in? That sounds a bit off. They're very eager. Oh, she's very eager. Must be something she knows that we don't.
We still have a housewarming party to plan after all. You know how much thought to be put into those things.
I don't buy that.
There are servants for that, darling.
Oh, darling. Oh, pish posh, pish posh. I don't know. 'Cause she thinks it's haunted. Ooh.
Love, servants or not, you're going to make people listen to your input nonetheless. No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us. Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and before we forget...
She discreetly folds something into both her hands and wings, a finger raised to her lip, demanding our silence.
What happened the day before was quite unfortunate, but you did get us what we wanted in the end.
Ka-ching!
That, at the very least, is commendable.
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
Just take it. You need the money.
Don't you worry, darling.
It's a small thing coming from us. Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
Hmm. She smiles sweetly, like this is just simply the most normal thing to do in the world.
Oh, before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible.
Yeah.
She's dying to work on the house.
I like how dying is like a different font thingy than the rest. Dying.
You can do that, yes? Here's her contact.
Didn't we already get it?
Certainly, ma'am. We'll have it processed as soon as possible.
I knew I could count on you, lovelies. I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Just like that. Transaction over and done with. My mind's still reeling after they left. Other agents would kill to have clients like them. A part of me feels lucky about the fact no lengthy negotiations, no sudden changes of minds. Just talk, signatures, a few handshakes here and there, and we're done. The other part? A second ago we sold a haunted property to two innocent clients. Surely, the commission's big. Big enough to continue funding Papa's treatment and hospitalization. Big enough to pay for all four of my younger siblings' schooling. Heck, it will keep me away from instant noodle diets for months. I don't have to go back to the mansion as well once the deal has been closed, much to my sanity's relief. But know that something's there, and we gave it to the good couple despite that? Oh, Isabel, the things you do to sell a house and get money. Papa wouldn't be happy about that. At least I have good news to tell next time I call home. The little lie I told Mom this morning isn't going to be a lie anymore.
Well, there's something.
You're right about that, Rose.
So how does it feel?
How does what feel?
Being rich?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly. I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
Multi-million-pound sale. Memorable is an understatement, Rose.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too. Aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised. What are you going to do with it?
Shouldn't she be like dancing on the, on the tables? Yeah, money!
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before we ended your training.
She slings an arm on my shoulder and leans in closer to my ear. I saw she's about to share a big secret. She's gonna burp in my ear.
It's okay to celebrate from time to time.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself. Throw a party and treat your friends to free food.
Oh, I like free food. Can I be Rose's friend?
Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you? Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
No, it's not.
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation, by the way, in case you really are planning to throw one. A few drinks would be nice too, thank you very much.
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
Then rent the place. Sure you can afford.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real estate.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that. Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone at her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in the span of a few seconds.
Today? Not a problem, ma'am. I could bring you a copy of the contract if...
Must be another client. Nothing surprising there. She's one of BRC's top agents, no matter how modest she appears. A saleswoman through and through. I, on the other hand, had very little knack for it. Of course, I learned eventually I had to. But someone else, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, though, in a drunken downpour, Rose told me a story of what could have been. Years ago, wide-eyed, young, brimming with yet to be fulfilled with dreams and ambition, she was a term or two away from a nursing degree. Out of curiosity, I never pressed the matter further, but perhaps it's where the sense of fondness started. A small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives, of goals we both let pass by us by because of the circumstances we were in.
I'd be happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there. Thank you.
New client?
Reassigned. Have you heard from Mark at all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion. Why? No news from the HR yet?
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away.
He's dead!
I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
She throws a babe over her shoulder as she rushes out of the office. The lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the shadow of fellow agents also heading out for a much-needed break. Didn't I just get here? Ordinarily, there's no need for me to go out. But oversleeping didn't allow me for luxury of packing my own lunch today. If one considers taking an instant noodle cup away from my pantry, packing your lunch, time to make good on the promise I made to Becca, I suppose. I want a lunchtime bell. Maybe invite Zack and Ash too. In the end, only Becca and Zack could come. Ash, on the other hand, couldn't be reached. All of my calls went straight to his voicemail. He's at it again. Right there, here today, gone the next. Oh well. You'd think so, though. Who the hell has lunch bells? And where does everyone take lunch at the same time? I never worked at a place like that. We have agreed to meet at the nearby cafe. Same when I frequent with Becca because it's cheap and they give away free bread around closing time. Oh wow, you are cheap. Quaint, a little old-fashioned, though looks a wee bit out of place amidst the city's tall buildings, but we love it all the same. Much like its facade, the interior carries an antique charm to it. Where's all the spooks, though? Vintage art pieces and rows of shelves, boasting an extensive collection of book covers to walls. It could have been nice to hang out here for hours on end, but even on a weekend, the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Beck and Zack has already found seats and are engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. It's strange seeing the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Surely. I still find this music so fucking loud. See how low it is? There's two people. It's super packed. The kind of born purely out of different interests. That or Zack's simply afraid of Becca. It's not impossible, and I won't blame it if he is. He might be the tallest in our group, but everyone knows that it means nothing against Becca's temper. Even I'm a little scared of her.
Zack! Becca!
Grumpy Pants!
Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I know that smile, Belle. Come on, still.
Don't rush me. Let's order food first, okay?
Waiters comes to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a heavy serving of their special vegetarian stovies. Zack takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausage, and potatoes in it. But today's a good day. Great, even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person noting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes nevertheless, and leaves without a comment. Becca furrows her eyebrow, her mouth halfway open, ready to let loose what's likely to string of reprimands.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
The glare she sends my way reminds me of the one I received from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 years ago. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. But Becca's far more from being my mom. A small, sheepish grin is enough to turn that frown into a defeated sigh. Food arrives in the middle of a funny story from Zack, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we are each served our order. It isn't anything fancy. Pan-roasted sea... Oh, they're having fish. Pan-roasted sea bass with citrus-dressed asparagus and a portion of mashed potatoes on the side. Or at least that's what the daily special board says. I wouldn't eat it. Never did pay attention to it whenever I came here, since the price, whatever is written, way above what I'm willing to spend on money on a single day.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
You're always hungry.
Hey, not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Yes, Mom.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella. What's this about?
I don't know, Mom. What is it about?
Let us say it, Rebecca. She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An unexpected grin breaks out on my face. Except.
Say that again.
Except.
And this is important because...
Becca only raises an eyebrow at me when Zack appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made, and is desperately searching for someone to explain it.
Let me do that again.
Is it going up? I don't understand this relationship things.
Guess what, guys? I'm paying! I sold the house!
As the news sinks in, their expressions goes from sheer bewilderment to utter surprise. That's more like it.
You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. As of today, I'm Maria Isabella Grace Cruz Santos and free from my instant noodle binge.
Do you need that many names?
Seriously?
Yeah, Lucio.
Hold it, Belle. You sold the house?
Yep.
Which house is this? In Aslam Village? The one with the open house yesterday?
The one and only. Come on, Becca. I know you've got a better memory than that.
Oh. Oh, wow. That's...
She let out a hum. Although she's nodding, she gets the impression of someone who has heard something unbelievable is still forcing her brain to absorb it. Did you think we wouldn't be able to sell it? Have some faith in me, Becca. Am I not your best friend after, or what?
You don't believe me?
The words tumble out of my mouth before I could stop them. I've been trying to avoid bringing up yesterday's little spat, and judging from the look on their faces, it seems they are too. Me and my stupid mouth.
I'm sure it ain't the way you're thinking, Bella.
No, I do believe you. But don't you think the sale happened a bit too fast? The open house only started yesterday, and now you already have a buyer?
It happens from time to time.
Yeah, but... Look, I'm happy for you. Just yesterday, you've been really worried where to get money for your dad's new treatment. And now, all of a sudden, you have something. What if the sale doesn't push through, or I don't know, they're a fraud, or they suddenly back out? Isn't it a little too early to celebrate?
Rebecca does have a point, Bella. If you haven't closed the deal yet, there's still a chance they'll go back on it.
They don't seem like it to me. The lady appeared to really want it, and she approached me without even finishing the tour.
Pressured me into it, more like. But I'm not going to tell Becca about that. Knowing her, she'd only worry.
And she already hired someone to handle the house's interior design.
You're joking. Who would do that?
The Wrights, apparently. It's actually pretty funny. She's a bit too excited to get the property, she forgot to buy it. At any rate, they've already signed the agreement today, so it's just a matter of time. And don't tell anyone about this, but Ma'am Hannah also gave us something extra.
Something as in...
Don't tell them!
As in, it's why I can treat you two to a free meal.
I'm more surprised you accepted it.
She didn't really give us a choice in the matter. So don't lose sleep over this, okay? The couple really want the house. If Rose didn't stop them, they'd likely have paid up front for it yesterday. That's despite the legends, too. I even tried to show them the letter. But nope. I want this house, darling. Go take all our money.
You don't really think they believe that, do you? I'm pretty sure for them, those are just rumors as well. No one is that superstitious in this day and age, Belle.
She is.
Well, there's you.
Right. You know what? I'll just eat all of these by myself.
I began to gather a place at my side, a food in each, still untouched. A laugh almost escaped my mouth with the way Zach's expression quickly changed to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
I'm kidding. Don't go all pouty on me again. I'm just concerned you'll get hurt if this doesn't happen. I know how badly you want to close this deal for your papa.
I'm sure he's gonna be fine now, though, with the money. They don't know yet. I think I'll call them tomorrow.
He's probably
Let them know
dead.
Things will be easier. Mama said this morning he's showing progress with the new treatment, too. It's just a matter of time.
I allowed myself to smile, genuine and uninhabited. It's strange talking about this with other people, even those that had known you long enough. But today, things just feel a whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. A laugh here, playful jab there. Most of it is spent on catching up and telling stories about whatever is keeping us busy these days. Something we couldn't afford to do the day before, taking into account what happened. Even Becca's surprisingly chatty. Is there something in the sea bass we ate? Zach, though, appears less energetic. While he's far from being the life of the party, he's definitely not the type to keep quiet in a conversation with his friends. Apart from a few inputs, he's been silent the entire time. If Becca notices...
Are you sure you're not feeling under the weather, Zachary?
Zachary. I will use your real name when there's something serious.
Huh? No, I'm okay. No worries, Rebecca.
Doesn't sound okay to me.
It's okay. I might be feeling a little bummed out today, but...
Is it about the reviews this morning?
A pained expression crosses Zach's face, and almost immediately Becca retreats in her injuries. He inquires, although the man's look is enough for an answer for her. I look between the two of them. Did I miss something? What happened this morning? Did I stumble on a big secret? Is this why I don't like waking up late?
You heard about those, huh?
Sorry, I just happened to check on some sites this morning.
No, it's a very sensitive topic in the first place. I should have expected it.
What reviews?
Becca glances at Zach, her emotions unsure, eyes asking for his consent on the matter. Although there's a small desire to keep asking on my part, I don't dare voice it out. With Zach, it's always been better to wait. Let him speak on his own. Becca too, to some extent, although with her explosions of temper are more common. In the end, she simply answered with a shift on his shoulder, gesturing for her to go on with the tilt of his head.
It's his movie.
Well, duh.
That doesn't explain anything. Stop dangling the information, Becca.
Zachary, I'm not the one supposed to be telling her about this. It's still your documentary.
Is it something bad?
Not bad per se. You guys don't need to dwell on it much.
Bad? Listen here. I wouldn't trivialize what those bowheads wrote if I were you. They're ruining other people's jobs.
From how her tone raises in anger, it seems like she's one slighted and not Zach. A snicker escapes me, which I promptly stamp down as soon as he sends me a hard look.
This isn't a laughing matter, Isabella. Some bowbag just insulted him.
Calm down, Rebecca. Those are just reviews, and it happens a lot.
I do not ken about you two, but calling the entire film an out and out drivel, you're better off watching an educational kids' TV show. And worst 1.5 hour of my life, among other things, isn't exactly a critique any decent movie reviewer would say.
I have no idea what a ball bag is. Maybe some slang she has or something.
If you could call that a critique. Did we even watch the same film?
We weren't watching, we were talking.
Well, maybe I ain't cut out for it. Better stick with my photography or something. If nothing else, this helped me open my eyes to what I can and can't do.
You're giving up.
It wasn't a question.
It was just something experimental I did on my free time anyway. It's no big deal.
But you worked on it for months.
Doesn't look like it matters for those people.
Don't say that!
My palm strikes the table, sending the tableware on top clicking against each other. I didn't even notice when I rose from my seat. But here I am, chest heaving, looking down at him in the same manner a teacher would on an unruly student. Becca's probably proud. I didn't mean to yell. There's some things people like Zach aren't supposed to say. How expensive? Word. He of all people should know.
It's just a review.
Except they're pretty well-known critics.
Why does that matter? They aren't the ones calling the shots on this. Isn't that why they have a committee? Right, Becca?
An amused gleam in her eyes when I turned to her. Why does she find so entertaining here? Help me here. Your friend's about to quit his passion for over a petty reason. I haven't read any of those people wrote about his work, but a few scratching words shouldn't be enough to discourage someone. I should know. After all, I'm...
Failing means you're playing, Zach. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I've seen it from start to finish, and I know for myself what you created isn't something people should scoff at. I don't know anything about filming or photography. Hell, I don't have an inkling of artistry in me except for those doodles I make for class. But I know what I watched. Look at Isabella. It's not every day you see her all riled up like this.
No. Whatever I'm about to say gets lost in my tongue as a flush of embarrassment blossoms across my face.
It was a heat of the moment thing. And anyway, I'll be very angry with you if you quit.
Yeah.
What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Oh, come on. I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
A burst of laughter comes from Zach.
Thanks, you two. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
There's no face at all, only a poor imitation of a puppy dog eyes, if you could call this one.
Promise?
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys. Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now. What's night ain't for another week.
That's all the answers I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path you walked. It's not like it's over for me, though. I still have plenty of time. I could still come back. Do my own thing. Do what I really want to do. Surely, once Papa's recovers, once I'm done with everything, inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking the pleasant afternoon lull. The screen shows Rose. Oh, for once, you're actually looking at your fucking screen who's calling. Like a normal person.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Ha ha. Very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't. I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
McCullough? She states that if it already explains everything. Then out of the blue, she launches a long rant about the awful state of Luxembourg streets. All of which she says in a single breath that I can barely keep up with and make out a single word. I stay quiet, if only to avoid becoming the next object of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that regard.
I'm stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
When she's finally run out of things to complain about and stops, what she says next still has none. No. What she says next still has none of what I'm hoping for her to hear from her. Just a quick mumbled plea for me to meet the right interior designer in her stead. And,
Anyway, I'll leave it to you. Bye. Thanks.
classic Rose. She ends the call without even asking for my input. Yeah, I was expecting to, get to the spoopy parts by now. The sky is cloudless and noontime is beating down on the hard concrete we leave the cafe. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood to make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we are staff members going AWOL lately. They've probably been disappearing in that fucking house, and we'll find them in the walls, in the floors, in the toilets, in wherever the fuck you can find people. Not to mention my boss immersed in all moods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. For all the grips about the unpredictable weather, though, the street remains unsteadily busy. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement, and in and chatting coming from lunchtime crowds filled with the humid afternoon air. A small reminder of the things we still have to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to reality for me. Sack to a meeting with a magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lesson plans and books at home. But more than once, I catch her sneaking a longing glance over something displayed on the shop window. Did you want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her for Christmas. I turned my head at the last shop she checked. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. She looks at me, eyes hollow, gaze piercing, and burrowing into my very soul, like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. There's no shadows or whispers this time. Only a plea, a hum, low and indistinct, compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me into the void beyond the glass. I don't dare to move. My heart hammers against my ribs, each beat, each jump, screaming me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All of my limbs feel heavy, while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretched in a grin, wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forced me to take a tentative step back. I'm trying not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arms, or her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after I got what I want for Papa.
No, stop. Leave me alone.
Her face contorts and she lets out a wail, sharp and utterly unforgiving. Rage. There's only hatred and bitterness, as in the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat hoarse from the screams I didn't even know it is already coming from my mouth. Back of my feet catches a loose stone, sending me sprawling on the ground. The assaulting pain completely jolted me out of the haze blurring my mind. For a little while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar until Becca's face swims in my vision. A look of concern in her face, and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zack appears besides himself with a worry while he stands beside her, acting as a shield against the small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet, the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, my weakened limb relying solely on the reflexes and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home in the pit of my stomach. And my voice is fucking going. I want to throw up. Anything to get the wretched sensation out.
You were screaming. Zach, call someone.
Who are you gonna call?
Don't. I'm good. I'm good.
Ghostbusters. Ba 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 ba. Da ba da ba da da. Oh wait.
I need to get to the office. Rose,
Oh
I'll
fuck!
see
I
you
clicked too
later.
early.
Careful. Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zach, you watch over her for me.
Okay.
I'll call for someone.
Ghostbusters! I attempt to smile to put her to ease, but it's like it comes off as a grimace. Gently, I push her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me. Stay away. Away. The humidity is shifting, everyone's stares are unnerving, and Becca and Zach's concern are suffocating. Not the birds! Those ones? These ones? These? They'll be coming around here again now. Just watch. See? There they are. They're on a loop. I don't want to be here. No more. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. Here, with the only occasional drips of water on the sink and the rearing of the fan blades to keep me company. It's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. And even with the clutter to keep me company, this room still feels a lot bigger than usual. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there was a way to turn everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still standing damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the window I have left wide open. My gaze shifted to the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter insidiously as the wind touches it. Funny how ordinary looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away or rip it into pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who has already seen it? Will they be okay? This unfortunately gnaws at me, knowing that she's real. It might also go after people I care about. I just wish someone would listen. Believe me. Oh, that's actually creep. Ugh. I jumped. Fucking phone. After breaks in silence made me jump out of my skin. Blindly, I fish up my phone from under the mess of papers and cushions where I carelessly thrown it before taking a shower hours ago. Zach's name flashes brightly on the screen. Is he calling because of this afternoon? Frankly, it's the last thing I want to discuss, but I did leave the two of them without saying anything. Knowing Zach, I bet he's worried.
Hey, Zach.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you're not gonna pick up.
Can I hang up?
Sorry.
No.
It took me a while to find my phone.
No worries. You game tomorrow?
I pause. I don't recall making plans with Zach for the weekend.
Did I forget something?
Remember that guy I told you about? Back in the movies? The, priest? For the blessing? Does it ring a bell?
Oh, right. I did say that. But I didn't think he'd actually go to the trouble, especially after what happened with his film. Sometimes I forget how kind Zach can be.
Yeah, I remember.
Great.
Is he fine with it?
My friend doesn't mind. We're lucky he's not busy. So, tomorrow, he'll meet us at the mansion.
Okay. Sorry for the trouble, Zach.
Hey, no problem. I'm the one who suggested it to begin with.
Yeah.
And, well, this afternoon you did surprise us. Never seen you scream like that. You scared the hell out of Rebecca.
I guess I owe you a lot for this, huh?
Nah, we're cool. had us worried. But I know you'll tell us about it eventually. I just want to make sure you're doing well. You left all of a sudden and you're not answering any of our calls.
He's trying to get me to talk. Normally I tell him I'm fine. Say a few simple reassurances to put their minds at ease. No, nothing will form. I can't bring myself to say anything. He seems to have sensed my hesitation because he immediately changes the subject.
Yeah, anyway, I gotta go. I left something on the stove before making this call. Just soup. But it'd be embarrassing if I burned soup.
Anyone can burn soup. It's really easy.
I doubt it. Ashton, on the other hand...
Oh, remind me to tell you about what he did with the pressure cooker next time. Oh, damn, it overflowed!
Told you.
Really need to get going. Bye, Bella.
He hangs up before I can thank him. The busy tone, though muffled, echoes through the receiver. No one is saying this will work, even if I doubtful it will. Right now, I'll take anything. Anything to get out of this nightmare. Let's see. Let's save. Sleep comes easier tonight, and for the first time in a long time, I dream. Of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small, crumpled dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. See, actually, I'm gonna end it there. Stop. Save it there. Oh, I'm gonna end it here. It seems like a good place to end it. I don't know how many chapters it is. I mean, it's been a long time. Oh, sorry. It's been a long time since I played a visual novel. So I'm not really sure how big this one is. It might be super long for all I know. I just realized I've streamed the entire time and I haven't had the sound on. That's great, I guess. Well, that was stupid of me. Oh, let's double save. Go. I didn't know this. Haha. There was music the entire time, and all the people were voice acted. That's why I never read actually what they were saying. I might come back to this tomorrow. And remember to have the fucking sound on. Bye! Really? Huh. Weird. Anyhow, bye.